Hi there, I'm Val from the Variate team. Today I want to show you how to set up Variate in a Vue.js application. If you don't know what Variate is, check out our website at variate.ca, or you can check out our documentation at docs.variate.ca to learn how to get started. For this demo, we'll use a newly created Vue.js project. I already generated one from the Vue.js CLI, so as you can see, I already have it up and running here. Now, to begin, we need to install the Variate Vue package in our project. To do that, we can run npm install variate vue. I already did that before off screen. Once we're done installing the package, now we'll need to create a variate.json schema file for Variate to use. This schema file will tell Variate about the experiments running on your website, as well as the information about the variations, components, and variables used in these experiments. To do so, you just need to open your project in your editor of choice and create a variate.json file. Now, this JSON will be empty for now, and we'll see how we can generate that JSON from a web application which will launch soon. Once we have a schema, we can configure Vue.js to use Variate plugin. Open the main.js file, and we're going to import the configuration we just created. We're also going to import the Variate plugin that we installed earlier. Then we need to tell Vue.js about the plugin by using the Vue.use method. The Vue.use method can use an object to configure Variate upon initialization. Here we're just going to activate the debug mode and just pass the configuration that we created. Once that's done, we can go to our application, open the main console, and we can see that Variate is now up and running. Now that we have Variate up and running in our Vue.js application, we need to connect it to the router so we can listen to the route changes and be able to load the experiments depending on the page you're on. To do so, we need to go back in the Vue.js project and open the router configuration file. Vue router comes with a hook before each that you can use to trigger behavior before each route. The before each method takes a function which has multiple parameters: the route you're going to, the route you're coming from, and eventually the next callback. I'll let you check out the Vue router documentation to learn more. Now we're going to use the Variate plugin, which is loaded on the main Vue instance, which we can access by using the router, app, and $variate to be able to use the Variate object. The Variate object has an initialize method. This method takes two parameters. The first one is an object, which we will need to pass the view into it, and we need to pass the view we're going to. Now, we can also use some targeting options as an object, but we're not going to get into this quite yet. Then, as a second parameter, we need to pass the next callback, so we can tell Vue router that we're done initializing Variate, and we can move on to the route. Now, if we go back to our browser, we can see that Variate is actually loading, also setting up the environment and loading the relevant experiments. Our schema file is currently empty, so no experiment is loading right now. And we can also double check that it's listening to the router by changing the route to, for example, the About page. And we can see that Variate loaded again, updated the environment, and also tried to load the relevant experiments. In the next video, we'll talk a little bit more about the schema that we created earlier, how we can generate it, and how we can use it in our Vue.js components and make our Vue.js component reactive to the experiments we want to run. See you soon.